Muchachos y muchachas, another week, another Hollyweird controversy, and this time it was Jamie Lee Curtis. You know, the actress who has starred in movies such as Halloween, the series, Freaky Friday, and of course so many more. Well, she took to Instagram to post this, what seemed to be just a nonchalant picture of her office, her home, and many Instagram users looked a little closely and found something very disturbing on the walls. Well, we're going to take a closer look at the photographer of this said photo, or what they like to call art, and we're going to look at some associated photographers and their work. If you think this is disturbing, it's much more. With that, hold on to your butt, secure your wigs, stay right there. We're going to go through it. Really quick, I'd like to thank the sponsor of this video, Boost the Wi-Fi. Hey guys, some of you may know that in your homes there might be dead spots where the Wi-Fi has trouble reaching. Therefore, you have to take 2 steps to the left, 2 steps to the right in order for you to catch Wi-Fi signal again. Well, there's a lovely device that not only can help you boost your Wi-Fi in the dead spots, but also help you save money at boostthewifi.com. This will help you stabilize your Wi-Fi connection throughout your home. You can get it at boostthewifi.com. All right, so Jamie Lee Curtis, let's take a look at the Instagram photo just so you guys can have a nice gander at what we're looking at here. So we see that obviously this is a photo of her office space. It's a round table. It seems like an office space to me, at least. And then on the background, you see this portrait of a little girl. Now, she's talking about her decor in the photo caption, in which she talks about some of the furniture pieces being from a movie. And then at the end, she talks about being a truth teller, okay? Now, let's just jump right into the dive. When you do a reverse image lookup, this actually comes out to be the work of a photographer by the name of Betsy Schneider. Now, as you go to her website, you will see that she has this photo still up there. It's called The Tub. It's from 2003, and it's actually part of a series called Sweet is the Swamp, 1998 through 2014. Okay, so you transcend through many of these photos, and you see that it's nothing but children. Now, I want to distinguish this really quick. So I understand, I want to make this clear. I understand that many of us may have photos of from our childhood where maybe we were in a bathtub, we were in the front yard playing with water hose. There might have been, how do I say, like, understandable scenarios where children were let naked. I know that's taboo for me to say now in 2023, but back in the day, right? Back in the day, even me as a 90s kid, like back in the day, when you were a toddler, a lot of parents just, let them play in the backyard without a shirt. And that was just part of childhood. Now, nowadays, what I can probably say is a lot more parents are probably cognizant of their children, and the attire that they wear out in the public, right? Because our world has become a lot darker, right? So let's just make that understanding. I understand that there may be childhood photos out there in which we might have been in the same scenario, playing outside or like in the bathtub, whatever, right? Now, the difference between that and what we are going to go through is that our families probably kept this private or until warranted and consented by you, the adults, to share that with any other people, right? It usually happens, moms bust out the photo albums. Oh, this is my baby when she was like 2, 3, 4 years old, right? We all understand that. Now, the difference between that and this is that these kids don't have the power to say yes or no to the photos that are already out on the internet for what seems to be a decade now, right? Or decades, could be a decade. We'll just say well over a decade because the series says that it started in 1998. And that's the problem with all of this, because now it becomes this debate of, you know, well, the kid didn't consent to it, but yet this little girl's, you know, photo of her in a tub of water outside is now being sold to adults, right? And it's now being hung up as decor, which is so strange. Okay, it's just strange to me, but that's the argument here. Okay, so the series had a lot of children, many of which boys, girls were photographed without a camisa, this thing, without pantalones, some without anything, right? And although this series does not show private parts, I want to preface that with my opinion. It doesn't show private parts, which, okay, great. We don't want to see that. But it does have shots of the children's bodies where it gets really close, if that makes it gets really close, uncomfortably close, as well as there are shots of boys from the backside, okay? Once again, these children have not been able to consent to this, so when they grow up, they're gonna learn that their photos have been published online for the world to see, and yeah, that's that. So the problem that I have with all of this is the fact that, you know, this really set a precedent that it was okay for children's anatomies to be exhibited as some form of art. And that's where we're at today, if you understand, right? Now, there's that, right? And I would even say, like, okay, you guys want to open to debate about this? Like, I'm sure people will open to debate about this. And I'm going to actually get to that point probably towards the end. But as you continue looking at this website of this photographer, you'll find that there's a section of the website called Via Skype, in which is a series of teens and kids that are Skyping with, I believe, the said photographer, and they're being screenshotted at various random times. Some of them have body parts, okay? And I don't know if all of these kids are just boys or if there were girls in this as well, but there are just random shots that just seem very, very creepy to me. Why do you need to screenshot children or teens when you're talking to them via Skype? But there's an entire section on this website featuring just that, right? So that's how it compounds in creepy measure, okay? Now, let's continue on. If you put this into Google, Betsy Schneider, in a Google search, immediately one of the top results is going to be Lens Scratch, and in which she is featured in an article, Desiree Edkins and Betsy Schneider. So they basically exhibit the works of these two photographers, Desiree Edkins and what's her name, Betsy Schneider, and two other photographers. So it's just simple from there. You can just click from those websites that are linked to the names and find different works. Now, Desiree Edkins photographs her child, her daughter, and the photos don't quite seem as controversial as what we're making out to be with the first photographer. I mean, yeah, some poses are weird, like close-ups of her daughter laying down on the ground, fully clothed, with her, her stuffed animal on the background, whatever. But when you click on the other work, so Sean Records, it's weird because when you click on the website link, it doesn't load. You refresh it and it loads. But as you continued on with the other photographer, Timothy Archibald is another one that was mentioned in the same article where Betsy Schneider and Desiree Edkins and, Sean Records was mentioned. This Timothy Archibald had a website that was still active. So naturally, what do our curious minds do? We explore, in which I did. And there was this section, amongst many sections on the website, called Personal Projects. Now, there was a subsection, or there were various subsections to this particular topic, personal projects, which if you click through, you find echolalia. This project made me gasp because I could not believe what I was seeing. These are very disturbing photos of what seemed to be little boys, and in various uncomfortable scenarios. Some of them are on the ground. Some of them are without, you know, some of them are sitting down in just very pensive, disturbing positions. I mean, like, I would urge you to go to my Twitter. You know, my Twitter is censored, but you can probably make out a lot better what I'm talking about than what I'm showing you on screen, because once again, like, if I showed this to you, I would get dinged, but I just gotta let you know this, right? But anyway, nonetheless, the artwork, the project is very disturbing. Why do you need to see children? Why do you need to see boys in these type of scenarios? I don't understand. And so when you click on this section below of all of that, it's like one of the last links, there is a password protected page called SEX Machine Archive. Okay, so you need a password to go into that. Very, very, very ominous, strange. And why that is because one of my users, I'm sorry, one of my followers, I don't know what I'm talking about. One of my followers on Twitter actually dug a little bit deeper into that project, the SEX machines, and found this listing on Internet Archive, open library, where you can see the SEX machines book, photographs and interviews. You can see the same photographer is the author of this book, in which it does mention the first sentence: Sarton's workshop, a place known for being committed to advancing the art and SEX machines, is cluttered with kids' bikes and hedge trimmers tossed around the band, saw, and drill press. Okay. So, as you can make out, this is all very disturbing stuff linked to each other. Like, how many more photographers have this type of disturbing mentality when it comes to children and, you know, the photography direction they go through? Now, I do want to mention that Jamie Lee Curtis did put out a statement in which this is what it had to read. This was on her Twitter. Last week, I posted a picture of some chairs that included a photograph on the wall by an artist that was gifted to me 20 years ago. I understand it has disturbed some people. As I have said, I am a truth teller, so here's the truth. It's a picture of a child taken by her mother and of her playing in the backyard with a tub of water. Nothing more, nothing less. I took down the post because I didn't want to keep something up that upset anyone, okay? So, is that Betsy Schneider's daughter then, right? Like, I have so many more questions. I don't know if that is the pure truth. And that's just me being curious. I don't know. Okay, so now I kind of want to explore the downstream post arguments of all of this, and there are two different sides that I want to address. Number one is the permissiveness of this, okay? This is why we are where we're at in society, is because one person says, it's okay, this is art, let it go, right? Like, what's the big deal? Like, these passive people, passive personalities who just find this okay, who find this permissible in our society, is why we see so much of it occurring as we do. You cannot let, you know, we used to have such receded boundaries, right? Where this would be unthinkable years ago. This would be unthinkable, but now it's part of a conversation where people are debating whether or not this is good or bad. This is bad, okay? It's bad. When children don't have consent, when they don't have the prefrontal cortex to even conceive a decision and consent, it's bad, okay? And that doesn't happen until adulthood. Okay? In case anybody needed to know, the prefrontal cortex is a decision-making part of your mind, and children just don't have that, right? So therefore, they cannot say yes or no to this. So it's bad. And I find it so astonishing that there are people out there that are making argument that stuff like this is okay, that, you know, oh, y'all are overreacting, y'all are being Karens. Well, hey man, find me a short wig and call me a Karen then. If that's what it means, then I guess I'm a Karen. But yeah, I mean, this is why we are where we're at in our society, because we have allowed so many boundaries to become permissible and infiltrated and bended and all these things, right? So I say absolutely not. We need to keep we need to keep fervent on what boundaries ought to be known that are already established, right? It's not we're creating boundaries. No, they're already there. We're just letting people, you know, permit a way of thinking where, you know, it is allowable. Okay. Now, the other thing I wanted to address was, oh my gosh, the other side, which is the conspiracies that come out of this. Okay. Now I already know. And what is the motto on this channel? What is the motto on this channel? It's already weird. You don't need to add on to it. You don't need to fabricate anything else on top. It's already weird, guys. Why do we do this with everything that happens with celebrities? We don't just look at the concreteness of what's in front of us. We have to go over and beyond and create these like crazy conspiracies on top of it, which then it makes us discredited in what we're finding, right? This is, I get so annoyed at this. So I just see people saying like wild things like, oh, well, you know, she was on Jeffrey's Island, right? Now we know that she was on Jeffrey's Island. Like, what evidence do you have, right? Like, I'm not defending Jamie Lee Curtis. I definitely still have questions about the type of art she has on her photo, but on her walls. But I think that's where it's at. We don't have to go further from that. Hey, photographer who took that photo has some weird stuff going on the website. That's where it is, right? Now, when people make up these conspiracies about now Jamie Lee Curtis has been on the island and, you know, she's being investigated for this and that is where we get discredited. You understand? And I hope that more and more people call this out with me, because lately I've had to call this out myself. Like, yo, what's the source of your statement? Because these are very harsh accusations that don't need to be made. These things don't need to be sensationalized and fabricated, right? Because once again, it just lessens or muddies the water of what we actually should be paying attention to. So, you know, that's the only thing. I just don't like when people fabricate things. Oh, here's another one where in her description, for instance, there was Comet pictures, and all of a sudden people were like, you know, maybe that's Comet ping pong. And it's like, yo, where did you get that from, yo? Like, Comet out of Comet, right? Like, I get it. Like, and if I missed something, please comment in the comment section below. If there's like a connective person, corroborative, you know, thing that connects it to the ping pong and all of that, then please say it. But to just say like, oh, maybe this is connected to that because of the name, like, I don't see how people just like go there. And the thing that annoys me about that is that the other unsuspecting people who don't necessarily know how to research for themselves will regurgitate that as fact, right? Not good. That part's not good either. So anyway, I just had to clear my chest on that. Guys, let me know what you think about this controversy. Did you see the photos on Jamie Lee Curtis's Instagram. Let me know what you think in the comments below. Let me know what you think of the photographer's work in the comments below. Thank you all so much for your support. I will catch you guys in the next video. Bye-bye.